This podcast is brought to you by Shank It Golf. Shank It Golf was born out of a collective love for fairways and a desire to break away from the traditional norms of the golf world. Shank It believes that golf is not just a sport, it's a lifestyle, an experience, and most importantly, it's meant to be enjoyed. The founders and us avid golfers are seizing on the opportunity to inject a fresh, vibrant spirit into the golfing community, making it appealing to both seasoned players and newcomers alike. Visit shankitgolf.com to check out their collection of everything from Q-zips, polos, performance hats, and even putters. They also just dropped a new t-shirt line. Make sure to use code 4CHECK. That's 4CHECK with the number 4 for 15% off your order. Trust us, this is good quality stuff, so go check it out. Are you ready to invite him on? So we probably won't do an episode next week because I'm playing, I'll say this at the end, because I'm playing in that pro roller tournament this weekend, but I'll supplement it with like pre-game and post-game interviews with guys on my team. So I'll just drop those on Wednesday, rather not necessarily on Spotify, but just on the other social media stuff. You look like a plug. All right, bye.
Boys.
Yeah, see, I told you look. I said you.
That's
said
just
you.
a vibe.
I know. I'm not. We're not even gonna. We're just gonna. Yeah, we'll get into. We'll just get right at it. All right. We now welcome back our first ever reoccurring guest. He still has the record for most ever listens in one episode for Fairway 4Checks. So he's gonna try to beat his own record. He will also most likely become the mayor of his hometown, which is Winnipeg, the Great White North. He is the youngest captain in IHL history. You can find him this summer pissing the amateur golfers of Manitoba off with his pin placements. Please welcome back to the Fairway 4Checks podcast, Jackson Reimer. A little stick chaps for Reimer. There you go. Raise your hand up there, buddy. So what'd you shoot? You're coming off. You said it wasn't a great day. You told me earlier. What'd you shoot?
Just like a 6 over 9 holes. It wasn't very good today.
That's about par for my course.
It was all right.
Is there still snow on the course, or you guys all melted up there?
You know what's crazy? So just a little, everything's melted, but we got snow a little bit up north, like Clear Lake. There's still snow on the ground right now. Like we got a snowfall like a few days ago. It's been crazy. Nuts.
So I'm going to piggyback off that and steal one, because we looked up the course. I might be stealing one of Spencer's few questions. The golf course closes at 10 p.m. When do you have to have carts in? What time does it get dark?
Carts come in for, I think 9:45, 10. Like whenever we close, like you get out, you come on in when the sun goes down, call it a day. And yeah, I mean, it's the prairies, right? So there's the sun can reach us at all times of day. So we're open from 5:30, 6 a.m. to 10 o'clock, sometimes even later. So
what's the last tee time on the books?
Last tee time on the books? Oh, it's probably like 8. It's probably like
that's crazy. And that's not crazy. Night golf. That's not even night golf. That's just normal. That's just normal Manitoba golf.
Don't quote me on that. It's like a twilight rate, right? So you kind of
of course. It better be a twilight rate. It's fucking 8 p.m. What the hell? What's your handicap? What's your current handicap?
I'd say it used to be lower. I'd say it's probably like 8, 9 in there. 8 and 9.
All right. Okay.
That's respectable.
Yeah,
That's
it's respectable. Very respectable. So we'll go through the bag. Let's go through the bag. What are we hitting driver? What's Big Bertha? What's the bomber? What are we using?
I'm working with the TaylorMade Sim 1, the American edition. So like the Ryder Cup edition.
Oh.
So I got American.
Okay.
Yeah. And then Iron 100s. And then I got Odyssey White Hot Putter. And then I got a few M4 hybrids. And I think just like few Vokey wedges. And that's about it.
Do you use 3-wood or do you go hybrids?
I can't hit 3-wood.
I can't do it either.
See, yeah, I feel like I'm the same way.
I can't do it either.
Yeah.
Okay. All right. All right. Last question about the bag, or maybe not. Let's go that. What bag? What kind of bag? Cart bag, stand bag, staff bag?
Titleist stand bag.
Okay. All
Yep.
right. All right. Well, I'll ask one more, then I'll let Spencer jump in here. If you could only, because balls are just changing it every year. It seems like they get more expensive. It's just hard to find one that's not $70 for a dozen that actually feels good and nice. If you could only play one ball for the rest of your life,
Yeah.
what would it be?
Probably a Titleist Super Soft, just because it's a little softer than the Pro V1s. Because the Pro V1 and the Pro V1X is a little too hard for me. I don't feel like I get proper distance, so a little easier to hit. So I'd say the Super Soft.
See, that ball feels like a marshmallow to me.
I don't know. I like it, so it works for me.
I'm trying the TaylorMade Super Softs right now. I might try the Titleist one
The
next.
Speed
That's
Softs.
kind of the one.
I told Spencer about
Yeah.
the TaylorMade Speed Softs, the new Speed Softs for $25.99 a dozen. They're not terrible.
It's not that bad. Yeah, I mean we find all our balls in the bushes, right? So
Yeah, you get free. Yeah, you get free. Yeah, you get free balls.
so it's pretty nice.
All right. Spencer, do you have any made up questions? Spencer was very unprepared. Jackson, let's just call a spade a spade. Spencer did not read my text messages because so we
Okay,
were
well, you know this, man. Do you think the text messages were super well out and thought out and good to follow?
There's no details.
okay.
Thank
So
you.
so Jackson's got a good buddy. We won't name him by name because he's gonna come on. So we want to save that. But he's a very good golfer. Plays at a good level. We're gonna have him on. He was gonna come on this weekend, but he's currently in the middle or getting ready for a pretty big tournament for a pretty big qualifier. So he wanted to reschedule, and in place of him, we decided, well, let's bring Jackson back on and talk golf since the last interview was all hockey, and let's just catch up with Jackson. And Spencer completely prepared the interview for your buddy. So he's got questions that have nothing to do with you, Jackson. So we'll see what he can come up with here.
Let him rip.
It'll work back. I've got some for him too. But so I mean, just like what is golf in Winnipeg like? Like how long is the season? It's got to be pretty beautiful and mountainous and lots of trees. So just what's it like up there?
Yeah, so it's honestly a mixed bag. I mean, there's courses that are like super flat in the prairies, and then if you go a little bit more towards the White Shell, you're a little bit more hilly, some really, really nice lakes. But our golf season, I'd say, would go from anywhere from mid to late March to even the start of November. We'll still have a few tee times. We're really wrapping things up in November, right at the start, or when the snow flies. Really, we'll go till snow flies, and then shut down the course and pack things in. But yeah, it's pretty lengthy golf season for sure.
That's very long. I wouldn't think it'd be that long.
Yeah.
I was surprised. I mean, that's longer than I have.
So you're only not playing golf for like three and a half. Yeah, tops 4 months. That's pretty standard for wintry places, I would say. I would almost think it'd be like closer to October you're getting snow, but no. Okay. Well, shows how much fucking geography I know.
We'll get snow and it melts, and then we'll just go get back right out there. So sometimes we'll have an early snowfall, and then we'll let it melt, get the course back in playing condition, and we'll go back out for another month or so, or until it snows again. So
do you close it down after it snows to get it back into playing condition and then reopen it?
Yep. We'll send out a mass email to all our members and to our guests, and we'll shut the course down for a few days till we can get the course in good condition to play. So.
Okay, so that's what I want to ask. You are the assistant superintendent, okay? Yep. The assistant to the regional manager.
Yep.
When you say get the course back into condition, like so say it's October, we get a snowfall, we need to get it back in condition, we got to shut it down for a few days. What is your day-to-day on getting this course back into condition? Like what time are you getting there? What are you doing? What is getting back into condition entail for a golf course?
Yeah, so I'd say you look at it 2 ways. Like we were shut down for I think 2 days this past week. We've had close to 4 inches within the last 4 inches of rain within the last I'd say 4 or 5 days. So we've been pumping water pretty much around the clock. So I'll be in right now we're only coming in for around 6 a.m. Mid-season will come for 5:30, but we'll work an 8-hour shift. We'll go home, and then I'll usually come back with a guy. It won't pump water around 11, 10:30, midnight sometimes, and then we'll get the pumps going again and do what we got to do. But when we have a snowfall, it's waiting till the snow melts, getting the water off the course, getting it playable, making sure we're not going to be damaging the course in any way, and getting golfers back out there and have them hit it around.
So if a course is too wet, can that be like so because it's weird even when it's like raining or after like really heavy rains, there's a lot of golf courses that are open, but you're hitting even in the fairway, it's super sludgy. You're taking unnecessary divots. Like, so that does that like after a heavy rain, just letting people play on a course like that does do some damage, huh?
100%. I would say the main cause of damage would be carts. When carts going through mud and they're making ruts, ruts can be take some time to dry up and get fixed. But yeah, like we did walking only yesterday. We're back to cart path only today, and tomorrow we'll go back to 90-degree rule and so on and so forth. So it's just taking the right precautions and keeping the golfers out there, but at the same time keeping them accountable and just listening to the rules that we have set. And usually we shouldn't be dealing with too much damage, but it does happen. We've had some instances where we've had some rogue carts go around the golf course doing some donuts, and that rips up the course, and no one likes to see that when we come in at 5:36 in the morning and you see, we're gonna have a fun day repairing it, but it's a part of the job. You work with it and you learn, right?
I'll ask about that, but Spencer, have you ever heard of walking only? I've never seen a golf course.
I thought that was pretty interesting. I was like, walking only.
I've only ever seen cart path only or 90 degrees. I've never seen a golf course say walking only today. I wouldn't mind it if I really wanted to play golf. I'll walk, but I mean, I've just never.
Yeah, courses, like I think we were one of the only courses open, so that was the draw, is to at least get people on. It was walking only just for the one day. That's the first time I've actually had that here in 6 years. But we did give a discounted rate. It gives a little incentive to our members to still come out and shoot around. But it was a beautiful day. It was around plus 18. So it was nice.
Okay. So let's go back to what you were talking about earlier. What is, like, in your time working at this golf course or any golf course, when you get there at 5:36 in the morning, what is just the most fucked up thing you have ever seen and had to deal with? And you're like, are you fucking kidding me? Like, out of all of the things, what is the most fucked up?
Okay, well, there's some stories I probably can't share. I don't know, it's a little too public, but I'll say one. We did come one day going out for a morning drive around the course, and we saw a gentleman naked in the 7th pond taking a little bath. So that was definitely that was a new one.
Just full on Happy Gilmore.
Yeah, it was like Happy Gilmore's caddy. He's preparing for the tournament.
Straight out of the trees, buddy's going for a little dip with the geese. It was awesome. But so that was a new one. We've had, of course, you get cart tracks. We've had a guy go on the green once. You'll have a big divot in the middle of the green that pisses you off. So the guy has to go out and repair that. Just take a few plugs. But there's been some funny moments that I probably shouldn't share, but I'll tell you.
Share one. You gotta share one.
Well, so when you bring guys in at 5:30 in the morning, guys get tired. So in the past we've had circumstances where guys are probably too tired to be operating machinery, so they'll make a little mistake, nothing too major, but they'll they'll mow the fairway with the greens mower.
So can I ask you a question? Is this where you see when you get up to the one green out of 18 where it's got the tracks going completely across the green, like they cut it way too low? Is that an instance of someone just being way too tired to operate heavy machinery?
That is probably somebody not picking up their reels and accidentally scalping the fairway. That is happened. That has happened before. I'm not going to name names because the guys are going to get after me, but fortunately it hasn't happened yet this year, but it happened.
Okay.
But you grill the guy though after.
It looks terrible. It makes your green look horrible.
I mean, grass grows back, but for a few days, for
it's
a week,
like hair.
Yeah, it's exactly. But
so is that what you call it though? Scalping the green got scalped. That's what you say.
Yeah.
Well, that's actually a good term.
Yeah. So it's scalping.
Well,
Or
Yeah, I was like, you be careful on that one. I don't know
Yeah,
how
well,
often you
no, I
use that.
heard terms.
didn't work out for Washington too well, but you know,
Yeah.
it's a
One. No, we're good.
Spencer, you got one?
So I guess like overall, how do you feel about the state of golf lately? There's a lot going on in the professional world with the PGA and Saudi, and like, do you have any suggestions that like you being on a golf course and seeing it every day, that do you have any suggestions that you have to maybe grow the golf game and make it a little more accessible to more people?
Deep question.
Deep. That's deep. Yeah, I mean, I'd say since COVID, everybody kind of came out of the woodworks, and COVID year was actually probably our most golf year. Actually, last year would have been, but I think it's just being able to get kids or younger adults on the course and putting them in an atmosphere where they don't have to be scared of people coming behind them or hitting up on them or something like that. Just setting aside days where you can get the kids out and get them hitting the ball, even if that's just at the range or if that's even just a few holes. Get them out, get them into the game, because growing the game at the younger level is definitely very important in my eyes. And I think just seeing kids out there having fun and smiling, and that gives us a lot of joy here. So we love
Yeah, I
that.
mean, it's such a great game. I mean, it
Exactly.
gets the kids outside. It teaches them so much. So no,
Yeah.
I totally agree with that.
Yeah.
It's hard because yeah, you get to a golf course and it can be really intimidating for. I mean, even for me, I go onto some golf courses and I'm like, oh God, I don't want to like shut a door too loud or something like that. I can't even imagine for a kid.
So other than the old boys club factor of like things like that, right? Like shirt tucks in, like all that stuff, right? What and this is the question for both of you, just full form discussion question here. What do we feel like golf is more accessible to youth than say a sport like hockey? Like a starter set of clubs isn't necessarily that expensive, but where is your money going into after that is like, because like we saw in the first season of Full Swing, like Tony Finau, they couldn't afford to even go to the range. So he's just smacking balls at a mattress in his garage. So is golf an expense? Is it considered to be an expensive sport? Like even at
yeah.
like for like youth, is that a problem here?
Yeah, I would say that. I mean, regardless of who you are, green fees or where you are, green fees are going to be expensive. Even if it's a muni, if it's a private, like we have a very good junior rate at our golf course. That's something we pride ourselves on. Our junior golfers pay, I think it's around $400 for the year. It might even be a little bit less, and that's golf year round for a junior. So
Oh
that's
wow,
a really good rate.
That's
really good
pretty.
deal.
That's
Yeah.
really good.
Yeah. So that's a good rate. That's one way to get the juniors out, but also setting aside days where they can come for a discounted rate, just play a few holes, do whatever on the downtime, right? But Spencer, what would you say?
No, I think you kind of hit the nail on the head on that one. I think it's just tough for kids to get them out there and find that. But I like the idea of a junior rate. I haven't heard too many of that, and I think it'd be because I mean green fees are expensive, and I think it is
They're insane.
hard to kind of use that time. And I don't know, just you think about kids on a golf course and running around like the putting greens or the practice areas, like some old guy is going to get mad at that kid, and it's like, so we're still not quite where like there's probably a happy ground. You see more of these little par three courses popping up, and like the one they built in Florida that they did one of those matches on, like areas like that. I think we need a few more of those, like just short par three courses that
Yeah.
might deter the more serious golfers, but make it more accessible to the youth.
Yeah, I've got a question for you guys. For where are you guys located currently?
So I'm in Fort Worth area in Texas.
Okay.
Spencer's up in Portland, up in Oregon.
What are the tee times running for you guys? Like what's
It depends. So it depends. Played a good quality course last night. For at a twilight rate, but it was $40. So
Yeah.
on a typical day, it would, and I only finished 16. I didn't finish the last two holes. On a typical day, that course would be 69.99. Now that's for a very and that's a manageable price, but that's for a very basic, somewhat challenging, but super open. Other than really bunkers and some water features on a couple holes, you're not really in trouble too much unless you're just hacking and slashing really bad. If you want to play, if you want to go play, so for instance, one of my favorite golf courses down here in the Metroplex is in Arlington is Texas Rangers Golf Course. It's the only MLB owned themed golf course in America, and it's fantastic. if you were an Arlington resident, which I've got I don't change my address on my ID because I want the resident discount.
Yeah.
If you're an Arlington resident, it's $99. If you're not an Arlington resident, it's $125.99. And it's they play a Corn Ferry.
Yeah, that's
they play a major Corn Ferry Tour championship there every year. It's a very, very nice. I mean, middle of the winter, the fairways are bright green. It's one of those courses, but that is the going rate. To take it even farther, and then I'll let Spencer jump in on prices in Oregon. Cowboys Golf Club, which is only one of a few NFL owned and themed golf courses in the Metroplex. They have a system where it's an all inclusive day, so you get a breakfast or a lunch and a dinner included. Everything once you step foot onto the property is included. If you feel like tipping, great. You're not inclined to. If you want a bottle of water, if you want a Diet Coke, if you want a beer, if you want a Gatorade, it's all included in the price you already paid. So for the 2 meals, the all-inclusive, and for the 18 rounds, it's one of the nicer courses in Texas. It's $325 for the day.
Wow.
So you can go play a course for $40. You're going to run into some not necessarily ground under repair to the course, but definitely ground under repair to the amateur golfer. Or you can pay $90 and you're on a really nice course. But there's really, you're not getting anything. You're not getting any decent course down here for less than $70. Spencer, what about you?
Yeah, I mean, kind of the same. I think it's hard. I'd be hard pressed to find an 18 walking now these days for under $50, which I think is pretty crazy. And then obviously in Oregon we have Bandon, which in mid season I think is like 400 plus, and that's just for the round of golf.
Yeah.
So I mean, it's the price of golf, like kind of just like we were just talking about. It's inaccessible to kind of the normal person, because that adds up super. I mean, you're playing municipal courses. If I want to play a couple times a weekend, that's, I mean, $100-$200 easy if I want to play a few times.
I can go play a shit course right now, and I use it as a example because it's the course that I shot my 78 at, because it's super easy and it's shit. It's $42.99 with a cart. Yeah. You know what I mean? Like it's not a good course. It's not even a decent course. And it's $42. It's $50. Yeah, so let me ask you this, Jackson. What is the, it's super expensive, obviously. What's the rate for 18 at your course with a cart? And are we in a situation where, like, you work at a golf course, you're an assistant superintendent? Do we have to charge these prices? Like, how much money is your course like having to funnel into maintenance and like all, like, what goes into that? Are these prices what it just has to be?
So yeah, I would say our course would probably range. If you're going to play a twilight rate, you're probably paying around 28, just walking. Cart, you're probably paying around $15, and then it goes up a bit. So I would say you're probably paying $50 for probably $50 in that range. I don't know the exact number, but
what are you paying? What are you paying to play 18 with a cart on a holiday?
On a holiday, I think you're around that between $50-$60.
That's not terrible.
That's not. Yeah, I think that's super reasonable for nice, super nice.
So
course,
that's my question.
Like.
That's my question. Is that enough money? Like, do you think that your course charges a good rate for how much money that they have to put into to manage this golf course?
100%. We are definitely on the lower side of our rates compared to other courses in Manitoba, especially for the quality of our golf course. We are voted the top 9 hole in Manitoba. So you're doing the loop, but is considered the top 9 in Manitoba.
Shout it out. Shout it out? We haven't talked about it. Shout the course out. Give them a little shout out. What is it?
Lorette Golf Course. Yeah, rep the brand. Yeah,
Lorette Golf Course in Manitoba. So it's a 9. So it's a double 9. It's a loop. I like that though. It gives you it gives you a redo.
Exactly. Yeah. And to answer your question earlier, based on the green fees, it is a lot lower than probably could charge. But we do have a lot of expenses. Like, we just brought a brand new fleet of golf carts last year. We get new machinery for the grounds crew. We greens mowers, fairway mowers, tees mowers, workmen, all the type of vehicles that we need to operate and keep the course in good condition. So
what does a fleet of new carts run a course?
think we got like 40, 45, something in like there. Something like that.
How much a piece?
Oh, okay. So I don't know what we paid. I don't know the exact number, but I know the carts are between 15 to 20 grand, I want to say, per.
Times 45 times 40. So let's go on the low end. Let's just say they're 8. Let's say they're 8 grand. Like let's say they're 8 grand. Your course gets them at cost. That's over $300,000 a course is spending in carts.
I can't tell you the exact number.
That's insane.
It is over that number for sure, and it's very expensive.
So I will say this. To all the listeners, to everybody out there, to all the golfers, if you consistently play or just randomly play at a nice course, and what I mean by nice is the fairways are nice, they're green, they're cut correctly, the greens are nice, it's the good sand, even sand quality makes a big difference, right? So if you're on just a nice quality course with nice carts, the carts that have the GPS, the electronic scoreboard, the USB you can plug your phone into and play music, the whole shebang. If you are bitching about price of that, you need to stop, because you just heard how much it costs a golf course to bring in 40 new carts. It's under $500,000.
And as well, I didn't mention the golf carts we imported from the States, and we were waiting for I think it was over 6 months to get a fleet of carts in, and we ended up getting lucky and getting one of the first fleets from a company here, but we would have been waiting, I think, almost a year and a half, 2 years to get our fleet of golf carts imported from. Yeah, it's crazy.
That's insane. So I am never going to complain about golf course prices again.
Yeah.
Unless I'm just playing a shit course that charged me $130, I'm never going to complain about golf course prices again. I've got a couple funny ones. Spencer, do you have any more questions before I get a little comedic here?
I mean, we can just kind of all break the ice on the community. Why does Canada have so many left-handed golfers?
Yes.
Somebody told me a stat about that the other day, and it was kind of mind-boggling.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you. I mean, my dad's a lefty. I have no idea why. I think it's kind of weird. I never got his old clubs as a kid, but I got a lot of friends that are lefties, including some guys here on the crew.
Yeah,
Spencer, you have a percentage?
I don't remember what the percentage is, but it's upwards of like 40% of Canadian golfers, registered Canadian
left-handed?
golfers are left-handed. Yeah.
What the fuck?
It's like astronomical. Like, it's not even close.
Yeah, that's nuts.
That's insane. Is Mac Boucher just like the coolest guy in Canada golf right now?
Yeah, he's up there. He's definitely.
I mean,
he plays some incredible courses.
He's from your neck of the woods, is he not?
He's out west, so he's more in like that Canmore.
Is he an Alberta guy?
Alberta, so he's playing
okay.
Beautiful courses like in that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. The courses he plays are insane.
His shots too. You see, we were practicing it outside just a few hours ago. We were trying to hit his backwards flop shots. Have you ever seen when he does that?
You can't do it. It's impossible. It's impossible.
So hard.
It's insane.
When he hits his iron upside down off the tee, just like straight, just a stinger straight. His sponsorships though, for someone like super kind of under the radar, he's not loud. You know what I mean? Like he's like his social media is not in your face. It's very relaxed and calm. His sponsorships are insane.
Yeah.
His BMWs, but his Beamer is so nice. I'm assuming he just plays the nicest tailor-made clubs you can find. His sponsorships are pretty nice. He's made a name for himself. Those slingers it's just fun to watch. It's just fun golf to watch. All right, so I've got a couple funny. So what goes through a groundskeeper, a superintendent at a golf course?
Yeah.
What happens to them in the morning where they get to the course and they say, you know what? I'm going to make pace of play 6 fucking hours today. I'm going to put this pin 2 yards behind this bunker in the middle of a slope so that there's 3 fucking groups backed up on a tee box because a group of 4 65-year-old men who want to put everything out takes them 9 fuck. What goes through your mind why is that a thing? Why is that a thing?
Yeah, well, I've been doing holes for about, I think, 4 years now out of my 6. And
do you fuck with people?
Oh, do I ever? If I had,
See, that's just mean.
See, what the fuck?
if I've had a game the night before that I played a hockey game, if I had a bad night, I didn't do anything, I didn't produce, I didn't do whatever, I will make life so hard on the members. I will tuck pins behind bunkers. I will tuck pins as far back as I can on par fives. I will make nothing reachable. But since I have been told many times I got to make it, I've actually had pins vetoed and I have to been sent back out to reposition them because I'm too mean. But recently,
Good.
I've been a lot nicer recently. So if you come play, they'll be easier enough. So, but
Okay,
yeah.
so it's confirmed. It is for no reason other than you fucks just had a bad night the night before.
If I had a rough night or if I had a rough morning and it was tough to wake up, you best believe it's going to be a tough round of golf for you. That's just how it should be.
I love and hate that all.
I know because deep down I knew that was going to be the answer, but you just
I would also do the same thing.
You have to get it from the horse's mouth, and we just got it from the horse's mouth. That is the actual thought process of why that is a thing.
Yeah.
Okay.
Though recently, now I've calmed down a lot more. So
okay, so a year ago, Spencer, the guys at Wigwam had a very, 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 very bad fucking night the night before. Those assholes.
They didn't like high school kids. That's
also true. So Jackson, real funny story, real quick. We had a little golf trip, I believe last year in Arizona. It was around Christmas time, and we played Wigwam. Very challenging course in and of itself. When they don't make it even more challenging. So we get to the course and we thought it was a little weird. We booked I think it was like a 9:30, 9:45 tee time, but on the tee sheet after the 9:45 was just blank.
Yeah.
So we thought they may be closing the course or whatever. So we get there and the guy mentions that we're the last tee time out for the day. And we just, making small talk because we're from out of town, say, why is that? He said, oh, it's because the junior college prospects are playing behind you starting at like 10:45, 11 o'clock.
And then he goes, have you guys played this course before? We go, no. He goes, good luck.
Literally, like, good. So I'm talking Jackson, U.S. Open rough. If you were not in the fairway, you couldn't find your ball. B, if you did, you were going to pull a back muscle trying to hit out of this rough. Like, it was almost easier just to pull the ball, take your penalty stroke, and hit back out of the fairway. Like, that's how bad the rough was. Not to mention these pin placements, 1 yard, 2 yards tucked behind a bunker, on an elevated, on a shelf, just or in the middle of a shelf behind a bunker, the entire 18. So we're just like
pissed off,
having it, not even mad. Just there's nothing we can do.
Laughing. Like after,
it's comical.
Like, what are we gonna do?
It's comical. It's to the point where like any decent shot, you're like, okay, like I'm a professional golfer. Like it was that bad. We get around and we're to the point now where we can see the college group, the college prospects behind us, next to us, on the holes around us playing too.
Yeah,
Jackson, these kids each kid had 2 to 3 scouts from different colleges standing behind them with a drone above them, and they're telling them what shot to hit. Yeah. So they're saying, I want you to hit a draw, I want you to hit a fade, I want you to cut it, I want you to sting it. Like they're like specifically seeing if these kids could A, play under pressure, and B, shot shape the way that they needed to shot shape. It was, and then we fucking realized, oh, okay, this is the course where this is the course where we decided to play today. It was insane. It was crazy. So what's course record at Lorette? What's course record?
That's a tough question.
Course record, and who holds it?
What's Tyson? I think it's Tyson. I don't know his last name off the top of my head, but he's been probably the best golfer at our course for probably over 10 years now. He wins club championship basically every year that he goes in. I think it's around 700. Don't quote me on that. I think it's around 700.
Okay.
Might be even lower, but
so like 63, 64 range.
Like it's 72. So yeah, something around there. But
so it's got to be a decently challenging nine loop, yeah.
It's a challenging hole. If you don't hit the ball straight, you're going to be in the woods. Very tight fairways.
I'll be in the woods. Don't you worry. Don't you worry.
We'll be in the woods.
I'll be in the woods. Don't you worry, buddy. Don't you worry. All right, I got one last one before I let you go. It was great to get you back on and actually just talk some golf. But one last one. We're gonna play Kill Fuck Marry. Okay. So you got to kill one, fuck one, marry one. Tiger, Rory, and Scotty. Who you killing? Who you fucking? Who you marrying? I feel like the answers are very clear. The answer's obvious.
I'm banging Tiger.
Yep.
I like how that's where you start too.
Yeah.
Killing Rory.
Yep. That's
marrying
yep.
Scotty. Scotty's a great.
That's the only.
Great.
That's the.
He did not deserve to go to jail. He is a stud.
No, yeah, that's the only answer. You bang Tiger just because you know it's Tiger. You just step and he's gone. Oh nope, there he is. It's just Tiger. You kill Rory just because of the whole. Yeah, it's just Rory. So you just gotta let him go, and then you marry Scotty because it doesn't get better than Scotty. You're gonna live a great life with Scotty.
Yeah, I'm gonna win a lot of money.
Yeah, well, you're gonna win a lot of money. You're gonna live a great life. Free Scotty. Video came out. Guy did absolutely nothing. He drove 20 feet past the wrong stop sign, and then we had Macho Man Cop rip his keys out of his ignition. So free Scotty. We're on the free Scotty train. So okay, Jackson. Last question, two-part question. Who is your, unless Spencer has something else, who is your favorite golfer right now in the game, and who do you have as the world number one at the end of this golf season?
Okay, so controversial. My favorite golfer is Brooks Koepka, even though
That's not controversial. I love we're a Brooks podcast. Good. I love Brooks.
Brooks is the man.
We're pro Brooks.
We're pro Brooks.
Brooks has got a main, so he's my favorite golfer. Ranked, well, I think it's got to be Scotty. You know. You don't think it's Scotty?
You think he hold? No, I'm just. I deep down I think it will be, but it's really hard to hold the number one till the very end of the year.
I think it will be Scotty just based on he's in the top. If he's not winning the tournament, he's in the top three. Like he got second this week. It seems like he's always there. So I'm gonna go with Scotty as
he got top five and he went to jail.
Yeah,
he got top five and he was prison Mike for a whole morning. Okay, so favorite. Okay, so favorite. Switch it up on you. Favorite. If I had to limit your favorite golfer to just Canadian, who's your favorite Canadian golfer? There's a few.
Yeah, Corey Connors is up there. Adam Hamlin.
That's the most popular opinion. That would be the most popular one.
I want to go. Well, if it was professional Corey Connors, if it's amateur, I'm going Cabrera Bossier. It's my buddy, and he's a solid golfer, and he's going up in the amateur rankings here. He's had a few tournaments, but he's a local guy, works on our crew. But I would say Corey Connors in professional for sure.
All right, there you go. What's your buddy's name again? Shout him out. Give him a little love.
Cabrera Bossier. He's on the grounds team with me here.
Cabello Bossier.
Cabrera Bossier.
Cabrera Bossier.
Yeah, he actually played in the SJ.
Cabrera Bossier. What a name.
He's a stud. He's a French guy. He's a stud. Yeah, he played.
I would assume he's French.
Yeah. Oh yeah. He's.
Oui.
He'll go out there and he'll shoot even par, sometimes even under. And he's on the course right now, actually. So I'll probably run into him later. But he's the best golfer I know. So I would.
Okay.
Say, yeah, I'm rooting.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Well, there you go, Spencer. You got anything else for the kid?
It's all right. No, we appreciate you coming on.
Yeah, Jackson, buddy. Thank you for hopping on with us. It was good to catch up with you. You look like a stud.
Well, thank you.
How's life? What are your plans next year? We going to school? We doing turf management? What are we doing?
Life's good. So yeah, I mean, I have my certificate at Olds College, so that's a 1 year. But I'm transferring to Penn State. I'm going to take a 2 to 3 year program there in turf management as well. So we're going to keep on the train, eventually, hopefully become a superintendent. That's the goal. But pay my dues now as an assistant and see what happens in the future.
There you go, buddy. I love it. We'll keep in touch. We'll talk. We talk quite a bit. So we'll obviously have to get you back on once you get closer to Penn State and talk the scenery there. But yeah, man, we can't thank you enough for coming on. Thanks for jumping on with us.
Thanks, boys. Really appreciate it.
All right, buddy. Love you. See you soon.
You too. Talk later.
That was Jackson Reimer. So big shout out to Jackson for hopping on with us. It was good to talk some golf. I didn't know a lot of that. It was actually some good golf superintendent insight. The fact that
that made me laugh. The fact that they are actually out to get us because they had a bad night the night before. One, that makes me feel better because sometimes you literally do walk out there like, okay, was the greenskeeper just mad this morning?
Yes, he was.
The answer to that question
the
is
answer
now
to the question
yes.
is yes, he was. So big shout out to Jackson. Fantastic kid. So we hope he we'll talk with him. It's a pretty cool career trajectory to, he was a very good hockey player, and he's now decided that like this is his passion and this is where he wants to go in life. And you can clearly tell that he's all in and becoming what he wants to do. He wants to be a superintendent. And when you get a kid who is as nice and as smart as he is, I have no doubts when he finishes Penn State and that program that he will eventually be superintendent of most likely a very, very nice course. That's just how his life is going to work out. Some guys are born with it all. He was born with it all.
He better, because I want to play the course. So
yeah, that is another thing. We would get the Fairway Four Checks podcast would get free golf at that golf course 100%. Now let's get a little quick banter. We do want to send as a podcast our condolences to Grayson Murray's family. If no one saw or if you didn't see over the weekend, he is a professional tour golfer that took his own life at 30 years old. He withdrew from a tournament due to a quote unquote illness, and then the next day ended his own life. Very, very sad story. He's 30 years old. I'm 32. We're both 32. I am engaged with a kid on the way, and just thinking about that is life gets very, very bad, I think, for everybody at all times. It gets very bad for me sometimes. And just to think about how someone thinks that that's the only way out is very, very sad. And it's an issue in our society. I feel like it's an issue across the board, but specifically in sports, it's becoming, to me, a little bit more prevalent. And so we just, want to send our condolences to his family and just, say to anybody that's listening, go talk to somebody, even a friend, text somebody. There's other avenues. So, unfortunately for Grayson, he just felt like there was no other avenues, but, fortunately he is now not hurting anymore. So we just want to send our condolences of the podcast to his family, and just respect their privacy and all that good stuff. But
it shows. It just shows you never really know what somebody's going through, because he won an event. Not obviously that's not everything in the world, but like he won in January. Like a lot of guys said, like he seemed to be on the up and up, and
he was very. I think he was very open with his depression, anxiety, and he did. I think he was very open with. He talked about at the beginning of his career when he was winning as a rookie, like, yeah, I was drinking every night, and he had a big problem with alcohol. But as of recently, himself and others were noticing big changes and positivity, and now it just came out of nowhere. So it sucks. So we just want to send our condolences to that. But moving on to let's move on to some hockey talk. So Jacob Trouba, if you have never seen Anderson Silva knock out Chris Lieben with elbows circa UFC 2008, it's essentially what Jacob Trouba did. How is it a 2-minute penalty?
Yeah, how's that not a major? Like, I don't think I've ever seen something as clear of an elbow as that.
I am not a Trouba knocker. I think Trouba is a very effective player. I think he's a good captain. I think he's tough as shit. He will fight. He will obviously hit the shit out of you. He will drill you. He is, to me, I've got some buddies that are New York fans that have other opinions of him. To me, he's an elite defenseman. He's just an all-around player and what you want. He fucking tried to murder that guy.
That's what I mean. Like, he literally just stuck his elbow out.
Evan Rodriguez. That's
a major.
When PK Subban,
when PK Subban.
When PK Subban, and I love PK too, but when he reposts an analysis of your hit and says this is a major and needs to be a suspension, it probably should be a major and needs to be a suspension, because that's another guy that rode the line quite a bit with some things. That's just wild. 2 minutes. Now, I would assume he'd already be suspended. No. If they were
Yeah.
going to suspend him, would they not have already suspended him?
They fined him. Did you see what Paul Maurice said?
No. What'd he say?
That guy's an absolute quote machine right now. So they
He's
asked him
always been a quote machine.
They asked him what he felt about Truba's fine. They go, pass around the hat. I'm sure that guy's really hurting for money.
Yeah, no. Yeah, wife's a surgeon, wife's a doctor. He's an NHL player living in New York.
Yeah.
His fine is dollars to donuts based on what it could actually be. It's just crazy. It's just crazy. Stars evened it up with the Oilers. We had to have it. Here's my thing. The longer this series goes, the more it favors Dallas, because
You think so?
here's my thing. Oilers fans, listen to me now. You have one fucking line. You have one line that produces every single bit of your offense, whether it's 5-on-5 or whether it's on the power play. You have one line. Everybody else is just a borderline third or fourth line player on every average NHL team in the league. It's the truth. Now, your one line is fantastic. Connor McDavid, Leon Draisaitl, and Zach Hyman would be a number one line on. They would be the number one line on Dallas. They'd be the number one line on Colorado. That line would bump McKinnon, Rantanen, and whoever they want to play with them down to a second line. It really would when you get down to the nitty gritty. But that is all they have. I'll give them Boucher. Boucher is is it Bouchard? Yeah, Bouchard. I'll give him Bouchard. Bouchard's a very, very good defenseman, but he's got John Klingberg pussiness written all over him. It's
I don't know. I just think because Edmonton's so young, I mean, yeah, their bottom end talent is not as good as Dallas's for sure, but they can still skate. So I think with each passing game, Dallas is they're showing their age a little. Pavelski's got to be hurt.
He's either really hurt or he is slowed down to the point where he can't play next year like this.
Yeah, so that's what I mean. With each passing game, you guys are showing your age. Like, I think you are outplaying them. But the only reason Edmonton is in this series is because of their speed. So
they're
if you
fast.
guys keep getting deeper into this series, I would say they're probably in better shape than Dallas is. And they can
100%.
And they can probably go a little longer. So I think the longer it goes, it's not working for you guys. But Skinner sucks. So
but the one guy that Dallas actually has that can keep up pace with the Oilers is hurt, and that's Hintz. Hintz is just as fast. I'm not saying he's just as fast as McDavid, but as far as explosiveness on anybody else on the Oilers, Hintz is right there. But when you're missing that piece, you're right. Dallas does it. They have a veteran team. They have a deep veteran team, but it does show it. The speed in which the Oilers play the game does show their age a little bit.
When game speed picks up, you can tell that the ice starts to tilt in Edmonton's favor. They have to play big to win, and I think big does not work in the Game 7. They already did that against Vegas, and that had to have hurt.
Yeah, I disagree in the fact that if Edmonton is, I disagree with you. I think if Edmonton is going to win this series, they need to win it by 5. They're going to have to pull off just a major upset. They're going to have to take both games in Edmonton, and they're going to have to win it by 5. If this goes 6, it's the opposite of the Colorado series. The longer the Colorado series went, the less confident I was in Dallas. The longer this series goes, the more confident I am, just because of the depth. And just because, like I said, go look at the stats. That one line has done everything.
Yeah.
Now, here's the problem. Dallas has got to figure out how to fucking score on the power play. You cannot go 0 for 4, 0 for 3. You can't have a 4-minute power play in overtime and get 4 shots on goal. Granted, they hit 2 posts, still not enough. If Dallas cannot figure out special teams, that is where I will agree with you. If in the longer the series goes, regardless of length of series, the more it's going to favor Edmonton. If they can figure out special teams, I don't
think it matters because I think whoever comes out of the East is probably winning the Stanley Cup. So
you don't know that. You shut your whore mouth. You don't know that.
Can we just have a best of 15 against the Rangers and Panthers? Because I could watch a game. I don't know if you watched the game last night, but I could watch that game over and over and over
It's
again.
fun. It's a fun series. I will not lie. I was going. I'm on a Mavs kick. Shout out Dallas Mavericks 3-0 against the Timberwolves. We could see the Stars and the Mavericks in the finals. The Texas Rangers just won the World Series not too long ago. This could be title town. We could be title town here very quickly.
No,
it could be. We could be title town very quickly, and you
guys are going for the major sports. Well, no, I guess not soccer. You guys are going for the sweep, huh?
We're going for the sweep. I mean, football doesn't count because we're the Cowboys, and it's just
there's no series in the
there's no series, but yeah, we're going for the sweep. It would be pretty fun. It would be pretty fun. What is going to be fun is what I sent you the Grand Canyon University. So shout out to Grand Canyon University, the Lopes. They will be traveling.
They must have come out of nowhere because when we played, they were bad.
Yeah, they have. They were D3 too, I believe.
And they were bad.
Yeah, but they won a D3 natty.
Did they really?
Yeah.
In that other league?
No.
ACHA?
Mm-hmm. After we left. They won a D3 natty, and they're so, but they are now.
I want to play their golf course.
Yes, but they're now dipping their toes into the ACHA versus NCAA hockey exhibitions. We watched Minot State do it last year and do very, very well. We will see UNLV do it against the same Colorado teams that Minot State played last year this coming year. And now this coming year, we will see Grand Canyon University going to Alaska to play Anchorage and the Nanooks, which may be the same team. I get them confused. But the club hockey, listen, people, it's not the same as it used to be. And it wasn't the same as it was whenever we were there. So it's just going to continue to keep getting these club hockey teams and programs are going to keep continue to get more money and more money and more money and better players and better players. Here's the other thing that I want to ask you, Spencer. Do you think there will be a ripple effect with people, especially with Canadian kids who are fed up with just the politics of the way Canadian junior hockey is run right now and just say, fuck it. And so what will happen is they will now search and try to get NCAA D1 scholarships, which will then push the kids that were going to take those scholarships out of those scholarships, will then push the talent trickle down into the club hockey scene. Do you see what I'm saying? Can you see that being a trickle down effect?
My initial answer is no.
Okay.
And I'll tell you why. Because technically I am going to agree with you in the long run, but my initial answer is no. I don't think we'll see them in the club hockey scheme. So what I'm kind of foreseeing in the college hockey landscape, it's going to change pretty drastically here in the next 5 years because of the whole change in the CHL of allowing those players now to go to college afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
Now that when you sign a WHL contract, you won't lose your college eligibility. So all of these kids that age out at 20, they can now go to a U.S. school and get these scholarships. So we're going to see a huge influx of Canadian junior hockey players into the college hockey world. Where I'm saying I disagree is because we're going to see these teams go NCAA. We're going to start seeing a lot bigger push of these club teams switching into a true varsity school-backed program because of that. That's where I disagree. Yes, in probably the short term, we probably do see some of these high-end D1 club teams get some of this talent, but I think we are going to see some of these SEC schools, some of whatever was the Pac-12, the USCs, the Oregons, these schools with money, I think are going to start. I mean, if ASU can do it, you don't think USC is sitting there not that far away, be like, there's money here.
Here's my thing. They talked, and I'm just going to say it. They talked so much shit about it when we were in school at Colorado State. Where's Boulder's D1 team? That was supposed to happen a long time ago. They renovated the rink. I thought they had a donor. Did that fall through? Because they were supposed to be by like 2021. They were supposed to be full NCAA D1.
I think the football team took so many steps back that they had to kind of reassociate their entire athletic program. That probably slowed down the
A
process. But
pack
that's how I see it. I think we're going to see a good 10 teams almost from these big schools make the transition to NCAA.
Listen, I'm just going to say it because I'm biased, but if the AIC conference makes sense, a Pac-12 and a Mountain West D1 hockey conference makes a lot of sense. Utah, especially with the new NHL team, Utah State, Colorado State, San Diego State, USC, Oregon, BYU. If that's not a sick ass hockey conference for NCAA D1. I could
That's
CSU
what I mean. So
could call it.
that's where I see the difference.
Let's just say in a perfect world, Colorado State becomes NCAA D1 someday. Out of just whether it's donors, whether it's conference realignment, whether it's we're including whatever the.
How does that not make sense? You could have almost 6 NCAA D1.
No, I'm saying
it
does. I'm saying it does. But
I agree. Yeah.
Let's say in a perfect world, regardless of how it happens, could you do like a basketball ice switch in Moby? And so for everyone listening,
easy.
Colorado State, Spencer and I played hockey there. We went to Colorado State, spent a lot of time in Fort Collins. The basketball arena on campus is called Moby Arena. Currently, the club hockey team plays about 10, 12 minutes away from campus in a publicly owned rink. My question to Spencer was, is it feasible? Would it be easy? Do you think it would be easy to do the basketball switch, like go from the basketball arena to the hockey and just turn Moby into? But you'd have to get the ice compressors, so it's not built for ice currently. So you'd have to get that.
You have to retrofit it, but you could do it because I know the seats roll back up, so there's enough space.
Sure. Well, I mean, other than New Jersey hiring the worst possible guy that they could possibly hire for that job, you got anything else? I mean,
how does Sheldon Keefe do absolutely nothing and get hired that quickly?
Look, and I don't speak ill will of head coaches, because if you told me tomorrow I could be a head coach of an NHL team, I'd take it in a heartbeat. It's a big honor, and just to be able to be fired as an NHL head coach takes a lot. I think this is a terrible hire. This makes no sense. He did nothing in Toronto. Nothing. But mishandle lineups, play into players' hands that, like, he was almost like their puppet, kind of. Like, I'm just being honest. The video they released of Craig Berube's pregame Stanley Cup speech, playoff speech, and Sheldon Keefe's playoff speech is wildly just crazy how different you can have two NHL coaches be. Berube's like, fucking yeah, we're gonna maul him, and Sheldon Keefe's like, live in the moment, enjoy it.
Go have fun, guys.
You go have fun. You only have. I hate that. I hate the fun. The statement of, but make sure you're having fun, always comes out regardless of what coach you are. But when your whole speech is about living in the moment and enjoying it, and you'll never get this opportunity, and win or lose, like, you'll look back on this day like, fuck you. Give me some meat and potato. It's like Nick Sirianni crying for the Philadelphia Eagles in the Star Spangled Banner. You lost the game before it even started. If I looked over and my head coach was fucking crying during the national anthem, I'd be like, oh God, here we go. So that locker room, the young New Jersey locker room, that's what they need, is Sheldon Keefe.
Mm-mm.
It's just crazy.
I don't understand how we keep reusing these coaches. There's just got to be more names out there.
So that's what I'm saying. So I'll use the Edmonton Oilers as an example. We keep recycling these NHL coaches. Now I sound like a hypocrite because the Stars hired a recycled coach technically, and Pete DeBoer. He's been fantastic. I think the New York Rangers would say the same thing about Peter Laviolette. He's been a breath of fresh air in New York as far as systems, all that goes. I think it can work. But I think when you it's the quickness in which the hires happen. You know what I mean? Everybody wanted,
there are still games being played. And
everybody wanted to chirp Edmonton for firing Woodcroft and hiring Chris Knobloch, a junior A coach with no NHL experience. Well, they're in the fucking Western Conference Final. So who the fuck is the smart one here? You know what I mean? It's a team that actually did due diligence on somebody who zero NHL experience, not even NCAA experience, not even AHL experience, or a lot of it at least. And here he is, first year Western took over for a fired coach, Western Conference Final. So it just goes to show that the due diligence and not jumping to hire a recycled coach. If that's the guy you choose after you've done all summer and you've interviewed 5 guys for the job, fine. If you interviewed Berube, you interviewed every other coach, I just can't. If David Quinn, if you've interviewed all these guys, and then you came out and said Sheldon Keefe is our guy, fine, I'll have no issues with it. I'll trust you. But you did it 2 days after he was fired from the Leafs before the season's even over, and he didn't do shit. It's just why it's wild. It's wild. Janela, you've got some explaining to do, motherfucker, because this don't make no sense.
Making no sense.
Making no sense. All right. Other than free Scotty, I would love a free Scotty shirt. The prison mic, his face on the prison mic with the purple bandana is so just perfect. so perfect. But other than that, you got anything else?
No, that's all I got.
All right. Well, that was the Fairway Forechecks podcast. Big shout out to Jackson Reimer for hopping on. Make sure to visit Shank It Golf for 15% off. Use code Forecheck. That is Forecheck with the number 4. Shank It Golf for 15% off. Thank you, Jackson. Fairway Forechecks podcast, baby. Spencer, hit him with it.
Peace.